Hello, it's a pleasure to be with you today. My name is Martin Stepek. I was born into a family business here in Scotland, and I grew up in that background of everybody talking about business all the time and their family and friends who were part of the business coming in the evenings. I tried my best not to join the family business. I got a couple of degrees and then worked my way around the world for 4 years, but I got sucked in and eventually became a co-owner and director, and we were a top 5 Scottish company. I started being interested in mindfulness and the idea that we can retrain the mind, or at the very least manage our responses to situations a lot better than we naturally do. Family businesses bring you the joys of being together. They also bring you the woes of being together. And the problem with the woes of being together in a family business context is that you can't just treat it as the job. You can't just treat it as, well, put the professional mask on, because you can't get away from family. You can love family but have profound disagreements with them on business vision, values. You can have major disagreements on them on the tiniest little thing, like what colour to paint the office. And these things rankle. And what mindfulness helps us see is, firstly, your own reactions to situations. You train your mind to notice better. So you can start to see when you are erupting in a negative mood, and you can gently take your attention away from that. You don't suppress the emotion. You just take your attention somewhere gentler, somewhere more soothing. Now, in Scotland, probably in the whole of the UK and the English-speaking world, but certainly in Scotland, as a kid, we were taught when you got annoyed or angry or really upset at it raining outside when you were about to play football, just take a deep breath and count to 10. Now that's folk wisdom, if you like, an old proverb. But what does it actually mean? This is pure mindfulness. You're in a mood that is not helpful to anyone. Take a deep breath and count to 10. Well, it does two things. Take a deep breath, you start to notice the breath. So you've taken your attention away from your anger and the source of your anger. So you've changed allocation of attention. And Daniel Kahneman, the great economist and psychologist who won a Nobel Prize for economics, once said that happiness is allocation of attention. So if you allocate your attention to breathing in, taking a deep breath, and of course once you've breathed in deeply, you have to breathe back out and count to 10. So the breathing in and the breathing out takes your attention to somewhere better. The counting to 10 allows the mind the time to soothe down its own reaction. So that's mindfulness in microcosm, if you like. Something negative happens, you notice it, you don't suppress it, but you don't get caught up in it. You gently take your attention somewhere else while that dissipates. And when that dissipates and is gone, you now have a clear mind that is calm. And certainly in my life experience in the family business, now I'm one of 10 children, so we had a complex family business. But in my experience of being in the family business, there is nothing better for you as a human being than for your mind to be clear and calm. It's a wonderful combination. And this is what mindfulness can do for us. So all those things that annoy you, all those things that you suppress because you don't want to clash with another family member, or if you have a very strong mother or father, for example, or you are a very strong mother or father, for example, and you either push too hard, if you're the parent, the stronger one, or you're self-defeating or you're submissive because you don't want to challenge what seems to be a strong person, you can notice all that happening. And if families together learn practices such as mindfulness, they can start to talk about these things. They can start to open up about them. They can start to be more frank and trusting of one another in terms of what they would actually like to do with their life. Because one of the probably the biggest theme, if you like, of mindfulness is one that might be a bit of a shock or seem a bit gloomy, is death. But that's important in family businesses as it's important in every human being's life. This ends. This life ends. And if you want to have the life you want, you better do it now, because you don't know when it ends. And mindfulness says, focus on the present moment. Focus on the present moment. Get the most out of your moments. Enjoy everyday little things. Like just now I'm speaking in autumn and we've got beautiful, as we always do, beautiful coloured leaves in the trees. But sometimes we can miss all of that because we're thinking, oh, we've got a family meeting tomorrow, I need to talk about that, I need to think about that, I don't want to bring this up. Meanwhile, you're walking by beauty and you don't even notice it. With mindfulness, therefore, sets of trainings, daily practices that we do, some meditative, quiet, looking inward, others just noticing, so I pick up this cup, I'm thirsty. And actually notice the beauty of water in my mouth and the cold, clear, smooth feeling in my fingertips of the ceramic mug itself. And mindfulness says, notice the little things in life and you will start to nurture this clarity of thought and this calmness around you, and you don't get caught up in things quite so much. So I hope that's stimulated you a little bit as a little teaser for how mindfulness can actually help families and business listen much more deeply and much better, consider each other not just in theory and not just in the house, but actually in all parts of your life, and hopefully helps the business flourish at the same time as the family moves to fulfill each of your wishes and dreams. We'll speak more on this hopefully another time, but I hope you found that useful, and I wish you all the very best in all your endeavours. Take care. Bye.